a man if a man
Hello there, magic monsters. Welcome to the stream. How is that audio level? I was fiddling with it because I don't know what it sounds like. Oh my gosh. My nose is all itchy from allergies. Woo, boy. It's my fault, though, because I've got the window open. Look how red I am. Because of that light in the background, I'm extra red. Oh well. Say la vie. I have the windows open. I had the windows in the other room open all night. I went for a bike ride this morning with a friend, and I went for a little jog and walk just now. So it's my fault that I have allergies. I have taken the pills, though. Putting the drops in. Did some Afrin, even though that's addictive, and I need to be careful with it. Got the pills. See, I'm not going to show you all the dirty tissues from blowing my nose. Got my iced coffee, ready to go. So what am I doing today? Oh my gosh, what am I doing today? By the way, if you haven't seen Llama Academy, which is helping me, yes, me, make my game dev dreams become a reality. Llama Academy, you should go check it out on YouTube. He has some really good tutorials, including these multiple, not just one, but multiple long tutorial series working on specific common problems. So yeah, and look, this one 8 hours ago. 8 hours ago. So 3 years ago to 8 hours ago. So this is one to check out. Llama Academy, if you haven't checked it out. And I will do my best to press this button. This didn't work. The button didn't work. None of these buttons are working. See, I don't even have a button to mute my mic. I have the button on the keyboards or on the screen. So if I have to sneeze, I will do my best to mute the damn button. Oh, yeah. Get the tissue box right here, too. Oh, what a stream. Anyways, what am I doing today? First, I'm going to tell you, by the way, as you know, go to infinitypbr.com, click on the See All Assets. There's something on sale right now. You probably already have it if you're interested in it. And if you don't have it, you might not be interested in it. This low poly package is on sale. Oh, well, it's supposed to be on sale. It says it's $100. That's not true. It's $30 right now. There it is. It's just slow as all hell. $30 on sale. And this thing somewhere, this one will be on sale in 4 days for wherever 30% of that is, $100. A lot of money off, basically. So, oh, it's bundle 2 that's on sale. I said it was bundle 1 earlier today. It's bundle 2, not bundle 1. So less of you have this one. I thought it was bundle 1. Oh, well. Yep. So, what have I been doing? Oh, yeah, look at that guy's face. Turbo makes games. Yep. I've commented on his stuff. This is what I've been doing. Do you want to just see it? Now, there is broken stuff here, so keep that in mind. But we got these 4 enemy objects, which aren't enemies themselves, but they are spawners of objects, of enemy objects. Oh, I'm going to fix it. See, so they all move around. You can see them moving around. They're doing it on their own. They're all autonomously moving around, finding new spots. They do this weird thing though, where they just kind of like hop to their motion, which wasn't happening before. I swear it wasn't happening before. Anyways, once they see me though, that's when it breaks. Currently, they apparently just keep moving forward when it breaks, but they really weren't doing that before, the hop thing. I tried to fix it by adding a blur or a fade in the animation. That wasn't the trick, so I don't know what I did to make that happen, but it's somewhere in my logic. So they were attacking before, now they're not. That's the issue. And the reason why is I'm going to remove these 3 again so that I only have 1 to focus on. The reason why, this is the actual flying eye. When I was a kid, there was a whole bunch of hold on one second. There was when I was a kid, 10 years ago, this would scare me, having all these components. But now I realize that it's good to have lots of components. Like the hearing, all this does is handle the hearing of the character. All this does is handle whether they have line of sight. All this does is handle the vision in front of the character. And then there's state data. This is the thing that gets saved. This is my NPC state data. This is the thing that's going to get saved. The NPC class itself, which is a game modules inventory actor, is right here. We can dig into this. Let me just open up the NPC. I don't know. Is this too much code all at once? Bring the AI to the side. Is this too much? Should I zoom in a little bit? So the NPC has no extra stuff yet. It might in the future. It's an actor. An actor is a custom class for Legend of the Stones. It's a game modules inventory actor. The actor has all this other stuff on it right now. Helpful properties like the hit points max, hit points percent. It just does the math. Nothing fancy. It just means I don't have to do the math every time I want to call it, So I like helpful properties. It also has things like take damage. This will be updated in the future, of course, but take damage. We'll expand on that. NPC doesn't have, oops, sorry, my apologies. NPC doesn't have anything extra on it, but it might in the future. So that's what that's there for. State data, this is the savable. It's supposed to be savable. I am game modules actor. Is that savable? No. Well, it's supposed to be savable. Oops. Save. What do I call it? Is this my savable? It is. So it's supposed to be savable, but apparently I never implemented it. So I'm just going to do that right now real quick. Save and load. So these aren't implemented yet. Oh, this is supposed to return a string, so we're going to return game ID. Oh, you know why I didn't undo. I'll tell you why it's not savable. It's not savable. It doesn't get saved. That's right. Well, I'm being silly. That's why I'm building. The NPC itself doesn't get saved, of course. It's this object that gets saved. NPC world object is iSaveable. It's going to save its own stuff and reload the thing it spawns. That's why it's not savable. Okay, anyways. But this is the data that gets saved nonetheless. A lot of properties, helpful properties, lots of setters, stuff like that. So how does my behaviors work? That's the big question, because that's what I'm working on today. I'll show you. Remind myself. It's been like 18 hours, 16 hours or something. So I've forgotten everything. The enemy has, the state data has these things like the movement state, idle, attack, and flee. I don't think I'm using this yet. I probably should be using this. Wait a minute. I think I did something wrong last night. NPC movement state. Not movement attack. I'm looking for NPC movement behavior. I swear I did something last night that I'm looking for now, but maybe I'll discover it. I'll stumble upon it. So anyways, as I was saying, this is a completely different project we're working on. New humans. We're still working on it. Still working on the new humans. It's coming. Maybe. It's coming. I swear. We're working on it. This is the project I was looking for. This is the one. All right. So we have these things called attacks. I think I might end up moving these, but right now we have attack manager and attacks, range attack manager and attacks. These are objects. Similar to the projectile factory, they're scriptable objects that you can create your own of. So I can create my own. I've got random attacks. I've got sequential attacks. Then you can just throw them in these managers, and then you can make a manager that's specific to a boss that handles the boss, like, based on the health of the boss, stuff like that. You can go crazy with those. And then the attacks themselves, the available attacks in the list. These, again, are scriptable objects. Right now, they just have a trigger, the clip length for the animation, damage timer, recovery time. I don't know what damage timer is. Oh, I think that's supposed to be like how long after it starts does the damage click, something like that. I don't know. It's a work in progress. We'll figure it out. And then NPC movement is the thing that handles the movement. So we've got our main controls: can move, can rotate. This is not being used. The attacking is not being used. It's going to be removed. Then we have our movement behaviors. There are really 6 states. There's real time and turn based in this game, and the player can switch between them by hitting the return button, similar to Might and Magic 6, 7, 8. So but the behavior has to be different for each, because in turn based, when you move forward, you're going to move forward for a certain number of seconds, and then you're going to stop. That's the NPC's turn. If they can attack, maybe they'll attack. But then there's 3 other states: idle, attack, and flee. Idle just means they're not attacking, they're not fleeing. So whatever they do. In this case, they're going to wander around the zone. Turn-based, wander around the zone, turn-based. In the flee, I haven't built that yet, so there you go. An attack is that. So originally, I was handling in NPC movement all the determination about whether this check movement state, whether they should do different things. But I realized that was not the way to go. It's probably spam. Yep, always is. That instead, each movement state should handle its own exit time or conditions. And so in the wander script here, we have in the tick, which is the update, just cursory checks here. And then we check if we should flee. And this asks the NPC on the movement state. The NPC is really NPC movement. Maybe I should change that. I don't know. Maybe NPC movement should flee. And that's just looking for the state data. Should we flee based on the state data? For should attack, we're looking for a little bit more. If it's the relationship of the player is not an enemy or always enemy, then we don't attack. We shouldn't attack. And then we only attack if the player's been detected. Because if the player's not detected, then it doesn't matter that they're in attack mode. But if either of those are true, then we're going to set the movement behavior to either the turn-based or the real-time version of the flee or attack, and return out of this. So if we shouldn't flee and we shouldn't attack, then we're going to continue doing stuff. And here we're waiting for the next goal. We try again, new goal. If we can get a new goal, then we don't do anything. Otherwise, we move, and then we've reached destination. We check if we've reached our destination. This is all working perfectly fine. I should probably check the turn-based because I didn't check that last night. So let's just check that. And to check that better, I'm going to bring on all of these. My left eye itches right now. I'm not going to scratch it, though. I want to. All right, so let's turn-based. I'm going to just hit return. Now, usually there's an audio thing for that. Now, in turn-based, it's clearly not working because they keep moving. Oh, nope, it's not working. All right, so I've got to update that. In turn-based, they do have an opportunity to continue their motion for a short while. I think it's set to 1 second right now, or something like that. And then they'll stop. That way there's a penalty for coming in and out of turn-based mode for the player. Otherwise, they could like turn it off, move a step to the right, and then turn it back on, and a projectile might go right past them. So there's always a penalty for that. The bad guys get a little extra benefit than the player does when you enter into turn-based mode. And so that wasn't working. So I can figure that out first. Wander turn-based. All right, let's look at the tick. Same thing here. Should we flee? Should we attack? Same check there. That's not different. All right, if we can't attack and turn-based timer is 0, we can't move. So wait. Turn-based movement timer. Let's make sure this is actually getting reduced. See, this is the interstate movement time. Reduce it. And if it's less than 0, then stop movement, which is just resetting the path. It was disabling the nav mesh. Now it's resetting the path. Maybe that's the change that caused that blip. All right, so we remove it, reduce it up here. Okay, so this is reduce the timer. All right, so if the timer's already less than or equal to 0 and we can't act, then we return. What is can act? Can act means that time board now is greater than or equal to the next action time. So that keeps track of when the next action can take place, like an attack, or in this case, for wandering, choosing a new location or continuing motion. That should be fine. If we can act and the timer is less than 0, we can move, but we need to start the timer. So that means, hey, we can act, i.e. we can start moving, or we can choose a new destination. But time-based movement timer is less than or equal to 0 means this is the first frame that we've had this option. So in that case, we set the turn-based movement timer to the time, reset that, and then update action time, which is going to call that same method on the state data for the NPC, and then increase the turn-based wait time if it isn't already above that. So if the game states turn-based wait time, that's the player, the human player. There's instances where they just have to wait. There's nothing that they can do while something else happens, like when a bad guy is attacking, they can't exit out of turn-based and quickly walk away and not get hit, stuff like that. So there is that timer. So we increase that timer, but we don't increase it beyond its potential maximum. So if the turn-based wait is already... Oh, let me see. Add turn-based wait. Reduce turn-based wait. I'm just checking to make sure this... okay, so it can't go much beyond below 0. That's fine. All right. So that should be fine too. And update action time here is saying there's a modifier. We get now. I feel like I'm going to use that again. So let's just make a public float now equals that. Okay. That should be fine too. If we're ignoring if it's already said and the next action time is already greater than now, then we just don't do anything really. Otherwise, we set the time to be now plus recovery time plus modifier. Recovery time is a default value that is part of the stats system with game modules. Hello, Jihad. Not a new asset. This is Legend of the Stones, my epic, epic, epic game that you will buy in the year 2029. So save up your money for 2029 when this game comes out. By the way, speaking of this game coming out, I was working on this game just over 7 years ago. And you know what today is? Today is the 7th year anniversary of my day job. I've been at my day job for 7 years now as of today. 7 years ago today, I walked in and did the first day's work there and thought to myself, they got the wrong guy for the job. That's what I thought. After that first day, I thought, nope, they got the wrong guy for the job. But 7 years on, I guess they didn't because I'm still there. So maybe they did get the right guy for the job. The right person for the job. All right, so that should be fine too. So I'm wondering where we're going wrong here. I thought maybe we would find it by now. So this should be fine. Then we reduce the turn-based movement timer. That's the turn-based movement for this NPC. And if it's less than 0, then we do return. And this does the stop motion for us. So we just say, hey, if this is less than 0, then return. We can actually make this a return value if we want to. So that we return the final value. And then here we can say, if that is less than or equal to 0, then return. See, so now it's a little easier to read. So if the result of reducing the turn-based movement timer is less than or equal to 0, then we return. And then if the nav mesh is not enabled, we enable it. I'm going to put a note here and say debug.log enabling nav mesh. And we're going to make this a warning because I don't think that this should ever happen. But I'm wondering if that's the cause for the blip. 210 or so, I believe. 210 is my #1 release ever on the asset store. 210. It seemed to do well. As soon as the new release discount ended, thank you. But to put things in perspective, as soon as the new release discount ended, there were 0 sales on the entire store for me for 6 days until today, until the flash deal started. So, you know, even though 210 sales, which is very nice, I'm very happy with that result. Just followed by nearly a week of 0 sales all around. And what strikes me as weird is that when I add new products, my total revenue doesn't go up enough to say that the new products are just adding to the total. I end up getting less sales of other things in aggregate, which is an interesting phenomenon. Anyways, just a thought. Oh, the wind is great. It's a windy day. I like it. It's a warm, windy day. So something was special. Well, it was on new release discount. I think it is a good product. People do like it. It was presented pretty well. The music video certainly helped. The fact that it integrates with other assets is a big win because people who have those assets can just download it and use it right away. And it just works right away, which is wonderful. So it's a good product. That's no doubt about that. But now with the sale going on, everyone's focused on the sale. So once it was no longer new release discount, people are focusing on the sale, and maybe they'll come back. Not maybe, they will come back later and buy it at full price. I'm sure it will be in a sale in the future as well. Twice a year, the asset store does the asset whatever sale, the new asset sale. And given the performance of this, there's no doubt it would. I'm sure it would be invited because they invite the best assets, the best performing assets. So it will almost certainly be in that sale, and I think that's in like September. I want to say September. I think it's March and September twice a year. So, and most don't get invited in sales. Most of my stuff are never in sales. Most of my stuff doesn't sell. So there you go. Yeah. Yep. All right, so I'm just checking this because that might be the blip that I was facing. And if we have a goal, then we're going to set the... Wait a minute. This could be the issue. If we don't have the goal, then we set the destination to the last goal set. Though we might not need to do this at all because I don't see why we would need to set the destination. Oh, well, maybe because we reset the destination at some point. And that goes along with this. Make sure the nav meshes and agent is enabled. So those go together, really. Making sure it's enabled and saying the distance. Oh, I just scratched my eye. I shouldn't have done that. Let me get an eye drop. It's going to look like I'm crying for a bit. I'm not. Oh, that didn't go in my eye. That went away from my eye. Oh, that one went in. That one definitely went in. The first one didn't, but the second one did. So that could have been the issue. All right, what next then? If we aren't near our destination, we can just move towards it. So not near goal. What is not near goal? Not near goal is nav mesh. If the remaining distance is greater than the stopping distance, then we're not near the goal. It's just a property that says that. So if we're not near the goal, then we move forward. Otherwise, if we have the goal, then we've reached our destination. And we get to choose a new goal. If we didn't have a goal, then we didn't reach our destination, but we get to get a new goal. What is reach our destination? If not near goal, return. It just resets the has goal. That's all it does. Gets a new goal. Reset timer. Okay, let's check that. I think that may have been the issue. It might make show tears. Probably not, but in case I do cry, I want people to think it's just eye drops. All right, let's see. That's them, turn-based. All right, it seemed... Nope. All right, I don't know why I had that. All right, let's debug this then. Let's make sure we are actually in turn-based mode. Debug.log can act in turn-based movement timer. So I just want to check to see really that we're actually in that. I'm also going to turn off 3 of these so that we only have 1 of them active to pay attention to right over here. It's going to spawn a flying eye. Okay. Where is... Oh, it's up there. Okay, so it didn't change states. So let's see if we need to... I guess that's the big... Okay, I see. The problem is that in our wander class, we don't check to see if we should change the state. That's absolutely true. I walked through that class earlier. We check to see if we should attack and should flee, but yeah. So the most likely between these, the most likely I'm going to say is the turn based. So if game state dot instant dot turn based, then we're going to NPC movement dot set movement behavior to game state. No, just to wander idle turn based and return. There we go. It wasn't even entering that state to begin with. That's the thing, because I just changed the exit states last night, or the handling of the state changes. And the reason why I realized I should be doing that is I was starting to add bools and floats for locking a state and all this other crap. And I was like, that just doesn't make any sense. All right, so there's our bad guy. Whoa, look at him go. He's just going to town. So clearly he's not getting his timer updated properly, because he's just moving and moving and moving, even as the timer goes down to 0. It just gets reset. It just gets reset. Okay, so turn-based movement timer. What was the value of can act this whole time? It's saying the whole time that it's true we can act. And that's not the case, because we can't. Update action time. Debug.log. Update action time. Let's see. Increase the turn-based wait for the player. That's probably happening. But the update action time... Debug.log, update action time. Next action time is that. Now is that. So this is clearly returning. If we're getting to here, then this is returning. So it's not clearly returned, but it's probably. Unity 6 preview was released and Unity appointed a new CEO. Does that mean the last CEO was just a preview CEO? Get it? It's a Unity joke. All right. Let's look at our debugs there. Enter that mode. Connect is true. All right, let's look at all this stuff. Update. All sorts of stuff happened here. Okay, what happened? Setting state to move and attack turn-based. Oh, it got close to the player. Okay. Update action time. Next action time is 253, 268, 253, 267. So the next action time is already greater than now. So it should return next action time. But we're not using that value. If increase turn-based wait if it isn't already above turn-based wait time. What am I missing here? When do we actually update the action time? When we get a new goal? Let's find out. On behavior, enter. And when we can act and turn-based movement timer is less than 0. Okay. Is this in the wrong spot? We handle states. We should handle now if it's not turn-based. Then we switch to idle real time and return. So let's add that. If we can't act and the turn-based, if we can act, then that, and can act is based on the next action time on the state data. Nowhere do we update this maybe? Set next action time. We don't set the next action time. We update the action time. Which is on the actor, and this is the NPC state data. Interesting. So there we go. I've got this twice. Whoops. Now we need to figure out where the other errors are. Move and attack has 2 errors, so we should be looking at the state data NPC dot. How do we set it? We do update action time. Attacking, the modifier that we're putting in there is the attacks recovery time. Whoops. We don't need to add in the extra one. All right. Do you want to know what I ate last night that was very tasty? I've been doing good at not eating too much food and making all my food at once and all that stuff. And I make fine food. There's nothing wrong with it. But last night, for some reason, I think because I ate food in the morning earlier, I usually don't eat until around noon. I ate around 10, and then I had my other later afternoon food a little earlier. I was out buying some stuff, and I felt hungry. So I went to a place called Blaze Pizza. That's just they make pizzas. And they're pretty quick about it. And so I got a pepperoni pizza, and holy cow, was that good. You know? Yeah, the CEO, maybe he was just there to get rid of people. Now the new CEO is the good guy. That's fine. I don't know how things work at that level. I just assume that's how it works. All right, so I think that should fix it. Let's find out. I was duplicating the next time on both the state data and the actor. The actor already had that. So didn't need to duplicate it. All right, there it goes. We'll hit return. Is it going to stop? What's the heck's it doing now? All right, so it's clearly not stopping. We need to reset our destination, I think. And just to confirm this is false. Yeah, we can't act timers low. Then we need to do this. Reset destination. Stop movement. And stop movement just says reset path. But I don't want to reset path. I don't want to do that, actually. I want to... Oh. I guess it'll be reset here. We are saving this. Are we saving this? It doesn't look like we're saving this. Or maybe we are somewhere else. What are we doing with this? Last goal set. Do we set it anywhere? We set it here. In get new goal. Get new goal. Okay, so we use the same code as in Wander. Okay, so that should be fine. Let's find out. Let's find out if it is fine. Yeah, that's crazy, whatever it's doing. Clicked the wrong button. All right, well, that clearly was not enough to stop it. Stop motion, stop movement. Nav mesh change at speed. I don't think that's the right way of doing it. I need to stop the motion. I thought this would do it, but the nav mesh agent moves forward still. I think maybe that is the way to do it. Oh, is stopped. Forget what it said at the end. It was saying something about starting it up again, but let's see. Let's see what this does. I've always hated, by the way, the nav mesh agent stuff. Did you know that? It's always been a pain in my rear end. Look at that. It's still going. And then it jumps away. Watch. What did that? What if we just disable it? That doesn't seem like the right way to do it either. No, that's not. It's still moving. Why is it moving? Whoops. Is it because of this? Because we're calling it here in turn-based. Debug.log should move forward. I don't care about my misspellings. Not with a debug log like this. It should go away fast. Maybe we're still moving forward because of that. Let's see. Should move forward. Yes. All right. So we're clearly not returning. Oh, wait. That's weird. Let's try it again. Why did the timer reset when I clicked clear on the console? That's weird, right? Okay, I guess it was just luck. Well, now it's not moving. Oh, because look at that. Wants to move. Maybe we do need to do this. Hello, Rage Run. How are you doing? By the way, you know who I met the other day? The COO of the Gloomhaven people. He gave me... Where'd it go? Oh. And he gave me this Gloomhaven comic book. See that? I don't read comic books, but this is a comic book based on the game Gloomhaven. Look at that. That's nice. I'm hoping we have some coffee and we say hello and I can network and learn thing from him. Anyways, all right, hit return. There was an error. Oh gosh, moved to the ground. Now it's doing, I don't know what it's doing. It can see me now, so that's a problem. What was it doing all up here? Up in here, up in here. All right, next action time is 0. Now is that. Recovery time 1, modifier 0. Why is this multiple times? Update action time. now plus recovery time plus modifier. I don't know why this was being called 4 times. Oh, 1 for each player from the party. That's why it was being called 4 times. That's the enemy. Can act false timer 1. We got a new goal. Can't act, can't act, can't act. Get remain distance and call it as placed on a nav mesh. If the agent is not on the nav mesh, return. Debug.log. Agent is not on nav mesh. Okay. Have I mentioned I don't like nav mesh stuff? Nice. That makes sense. All right, now can act false. What made it turn? Enabling the nav mesh. It's still moving forward. So if you look at the players down here, they got the green, yellow. When they're red, it means the players can't act. And that could be why this starts up again. It waits for its next time to act, and then it acts and all that. But none of this explains. What annoys me is this was working perfectly fine before I changed. The one thing that I changed was all the stuff up at the top of that. All right, let's think about this again. Let's rethink this. All right, so we do our state changes. I think that's still fine. We say whether we can act. We can say movement timer. Stop movement. There's that. Maybe we need to do something here. Animator. Set float. Zero. Okay, so we're going to move this into its own method. That way, when we do stop motion, We can reset the path and set the speed to 0. Let's see if that works. It's been an hour. I haven't solved one problem yet. Do you know that? All right. All right. So now it's not going to move. Game time should not be increasing. And if we go down to our game time, it's always hard to select things. There we go. So here's our game time. Right. Our time board. So this should not be increasing right now. See? Game time's not increasing because we have our players. They're ready to do actions. They've got to do actions. So we do 1, we do 2, we do 3. Once I do this 4th one, game time right here will increase. And then the next entity that can act will act. So there you go. So we can't do anything. Now we can. It can't. All right. So we solved one problem. Still has that little jumpy behavior. Do you see that jumpy behavior? Watch this guy right there, the flying eye. It's very small. That jumpy behavior. What the hell? All right. Now it can see me. So now it's not going to work because I got to fix that. All right. So we solved one thing. 1. That's not a lot. That's not a lot at all. All right, well, the next thing is to do the real-time attacking, which, again, was working just fine before I got all clever. Decided to change things. So that's going to be move and attack. Very similar here. We have to handle the state changes. If NPC or if state game state dot instance is turn-based, then we need to do set a movement behavior to attack turn-based. And because we probably didn't update that in this one, while I'm doing that, I should just do it. Attack real time. There you go. All right. So we handle the states. It's a little bit different. If it's turn-based, we switch to turn-based. If we should flee, we switch to fleeing. If we shouldn't be attacking and there's no sight timer has elapsed, then we go to idle. So if we should not be attacking, i.e. we can't see the player, etc., and the no sight timer has expired, gone over no sight wait time, then we set the the stuff to that. Otherwise, we give it some time to wait in case the player pops their head around the corner or something before the NPC goes off and wanders around. Or returns to their base, whatever the logic is on that, on the stuff. But if we are in turn-based mode, unlock the state. So I don't think we need to do any locking of the states at this point. So I'm going to remove those. We'll see where the errors are. There's supposed to be an error on this, but I don't see it. So I don't think we need this, which means we don't need this. Lock state, which means we don't need this. And somewhere there's another, oh, it's way up here. All right, on behavior enter, we're locking the state. We're not locking the state. The concept we should get rid of. The entire concept. Okay. So if we haven't seen the player recently when we return, do we want to return? Let's see what happens here. So this is saying if we have line of sight or we can hear the player, then we have recently seen it. Reset our timer, set the last known position of the party. Otherwise, if no sight timer is 0, it means this is the first frame that we lost sight. So we should set the goal to be 0. Because our no sight timer is going to be increased by delta time. And then if that is less than the wait time, then we return true. We've seen them recently. Doesn't mean we see it now, it just means we've seen them recently. Otherwise, if we've waited long enough, then we reset the timer and we return false. Okay. And then we do that. Okay. Get new goal. Got new goal. Has line of sight. We try to attack. If we can't act, I'm going to come back to this. Suddenly, I'm yawning like a mofo, and I think it's because I took too many allergy pills. I took one. So, and I think what's going on here is I just have some logic issues. I mean, it's almost clear about the stopping of the motion of the ocean or something like that. I've decided this is the way I'm going to do the behavior logic via behavior objects that are basically scripts that can have some variables. You can set those variables different for each thing. Just have to get through this part. I don't like nav mesh. I don't like dealing with handling motion and all that. I just do not like it one bit. I have never liked it, and it hasn't changed. But I'm gonna go take a nap. That's what I'm gonna do. And thanks for hanging out with me. I will see you all on the flip side, and I will let you know how this goes. Check the Discord for more. If you have any questions, come to the Discord, ask away. I appreciate your time. I appreciate you hanging out, and I will see you all later. Bye-bye.